So we'll begin in child's pose, knees apart, feet together, sitting back on the heels. Beginning to breathe deeply in and out through the nose. Letting the mind settle, focusing all of your attention on the yoga practice. Bringing all of your attention to your breath. 3 counts in, 3 counts out. When you're ready, we'll come up into tabletop position. Wrists below shoulders, knees below hips. Inhale, arch the back, look up. Exhale, arching the back, tucking the tailbone, tucking the chin. Moving through this at your own pace. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Let's do once more on each side. When you're ready, coming down onto your back, rolling all the way down. Hug your right knee into your chest, extend your left leg out. We're just pulling that knee in, releasing the muscles through the hips. Nice deep breathing. Extend your heel up toward the ceiling. Try to straighten your leg all the way. If it doesn't straighten, you can keep a slight bend in the knee. Looking for a stretch in the hamstring. Breathing stays steady. If you can, reach up and take a hold of your toe with your peace fingers. Returning both shoulders down to the mat, still extending through the heel. Dropping the leg out to the side. Keep a hold of the toe if that's comfortable. If not, you can always bend the knee and bring the knee out to the side and hang on to that knee. Bringing the leg back up, hugging the knee back into your chest, and returning it to the ground. Let's do the other side. We'll hug the left knee in, taking some nice deep breaths here. Releasing all those muscles around the hips. When you're ready, extending that heel up. Finding that stretch through your hamstring. Breathing steady. And when you're ready, taking a hold of the toe if you can. If the knee doesn't straighten all the way, that's okay. Just extending through the heel, keeping the stretch in the hamstrings. Drop the leg out to the side, either keeping a hold of that toe and extending through the heel, or bending the knee and really feeling this in the hip joint. Returning to the center, we'll release both legs down onto the mat and come up into downward facing dog. Grounding down through your hands, base of the first finger presses down into the mat. Relax your shoulders away from your ears, lifting your tailbone up with your inhale, reaching the heels down with the exhale, finding that stretch along the backs of the legs. single point of focus behind you, and breathe in and out through the nose. Looking up at your hands, walking your feet forward. Come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands to your sides. Sun Salutation A. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, stepping or jumping back. Lowering down, Chaturanga, same breath. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. 5 deep breaths in downward facing dog. Thinking about turning your toes inward. Feet are hip distance apart. Gazing at a single fixed point behind you. Steadying the breath. Inhale, look up at your hands, walk your feet forward. Come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to your sides. Again, inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, step back. Lowering down, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. And 5 breaths in down dog. Remembering to let the shoulders roll down away from your ears, softening through your shoulder blades. And look up, walking the feet forward, coming up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to your sides. One more time through this. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, step back. Lowering down, Chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. 5 long, deep breaths in downward facing dog. Inhale, looking up, walking those feet forward, coming up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to your sides. Sun Salutation B. Inhale, chair. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, stepping back, lowering down. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Sweep your right foot forward. Inhale, Warrior A all the way up. Exhale, all the way down. Step back, lower down. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Left foot forward. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, all the way down. Controlling the breath. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. And 5 breaths in downward facing dog. Letting the heart rate settle. Bringing the breath to a nice steady pace. We'll inhale, look up. Walking those feet forward, coming up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees, chair. And exhale, stand. Evening out the weight, relax the shoulder blades. And then step your feet hip distance apart. Inhale, hands to hips, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Bend those knees deeply. Try to lay your torso down on your legs. Forward fold. Straightening those legs as much as you can, but only as far as your torso still stays down on those thighs. So you may have to keep a nice deep bend in the knees to make that happen. So you're stretching into those hamstrings. Inhale, up halfway. Exhale, step back, lowering down. Inhale, upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. We'll sweep the right foot forward. Inhale, warrior A. Hips are square to the front, relaxing the shoulders away from your ears. Gaze is either straight in front of you or up at your thumbs. Bringing your hands behind your back, clasp your fingers together. Try to straighten those arms. Straightening your front leg, forward fold. If your arms come off the back, that's great. If not, you're just working on rolling those shoulder blades closer together, straightening those arms. Inhale all the way back up, warrior A. Exhale, warrior B. Outside of the back foot presses into the mat. Lean into your front knee. Relax your shoulders, pull the core in. Gaze is straight out over your middle finger. Shift your ribcage forward, elbow to the knee. Reach up and over your head. Gaze is either straight in front of you or up at your thumb. Finding a nice deep breath or a nice deep stretch through your side. Inhale back to warrior B. Turn both toes inward. As you inhale, look up. As you exhale, forward fold. Bring your hands to the ground. So we're leaning forward into the toes as much as possible. So you want to lean so far forward that you feel like you might fall over, except your hands are there on the ground to steady you. Keeping the breathing steady. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, hands to the hips. Inhale all the way up. Exhale, warrior B. Again, side angle, so you can keep the elbow on the knee, or you can bring the hand all the way to the ground this time. Reaching through those fingertips, finding a deeper stretch through your side. Gaze is steady. We'll bring the hands to the ground, stepping back. Optional vinyasa here, so you can go straight to downward facing if you want. And we'll do the other side. Left foot forward, inhale, warrior A, coming all the way up. Checking your posture, your back heel presses into the ground. Hips are square. Core pulls in, reaching up through the spine. Bringing those hands behind you, straightening the arms. And exhale, forward fold, straightening that front leg. If the arms come off the back, that's great. If not, you're just working on rolling those shoulder blades closer together. Inhale all the way up, warrior A. Exhale, warrior B. So again, outside of the back foot on the ground. Pelvis tucked under, shoulders relaxed away from your ears. Steady gaze over your front middle finger. Shifting your ribcage forward, reaching up and over your head. Gazing either at your thumb or straight out in front of you. Find the stretch through your side. Inhale back up. Turn both toes inward. Clasp your hands behind your back. Roll the shoulder blades together. Inhale up. Exhale, fold. Again, leaning forward into your toes. Again, if the arms don't straighten all the way, or if the arms don't come off the back, that's okay. Just trying to straighten those arms. Inhale, follow your hands all the way up, back to warrior B, and we'll do our second side angle. So you can return your elbow to the knee, or you can bring the hand all the way down to the ground. Nice deep stretch through your side. Deep breaths into the chest. And bring both hands down, stepping back, downward facing dog or optional vinyasa. Sweep your right foot forward, left knee comes down on the mat, modified crescent. So we'll begin by just leaning forward into that hip, finding the stretch, making sure your ankle's stacked under your knee, and bringing those arms up as you're ready. Shoulders relax away from your ears. Gaze is steady, straight in front of you. If you want, you can shift your gaze up to your thumbs and lean back. Breathing stays steady. Inhale all the way back up. We're going to lean forward, bring both hands to the inside of that foot. And see if you can come down onto your elbows. So if this isn't possible, you just start bending those arms. Getting as low into that hip as you can. Try to relax as much as possible. Inhale, coming back up. Stepping back, downward facing dog or optional vinyasa. Shake it out. Sweeping your left foot forward, right knee comes down on the ground. So again, we're going to start by finding that stretch in the hip. Stack your ankle under your knee and add arms when you're ready. Steady gaze, steady breath. If you'd like to add a back bend, you can do so, shifting your gaze up to your thumbs and leaning backward as far as you can, keeping your breath steady. This is the most important part. Coming all the way down, bending into those elbows as much as you can, maybe putting those elbows down on the ground. And relax as much as possible through your hip. Try to keep your knee pressed in close to your shoulder. Don't let it fall out to the side. Inhale back up. Tuck your back toe under. And optional vinyasa or going straight to downward facing dog. Shake it out. Reaching your right hip or your right heel up and back, toes stay pointed down toward the mat. Lift it as high as you can. And then we'll bend that knee, bring it forward for pigeon pose. So your right knee is next to your right wrist and the right foot is in front of your left hip, evening out the weight between both legs and dropping down either onto the elbows or all the way down onto the mat. Tuning into your breath. Inhale matches the exhale, releasing all of those muscles through your hips. Inhale, head up. We're going to walk those hands back as close to your hips as possible. Sit up nice and tall. Press your sternum forward, roll your shoulders back, and maybe lifting those hands just a little bit off the mat, maybe reaching them all the way up. Gaze is nice and steady, straight in front of you. Bringing the hands down, bending the back knee. We're going to pull that foot in as close as you can to your hip. Find the stretch through your quad, and then if possible, turning the sternum back around toward the front. breathing is steady. Releasing the foot, tucking the back toe, downward facing dog, shake it out. Lifting your left leg up and back, extend through the heel. Toes stay facing down toward the ground. We're going to bend that knee, bring it down next to your left wrist. Foot comes in front of your right hip. Even out the weight between both legs, and then lowering down onto the ground, pigeon pose. Tuning into your breath. Inhale matches the exhale. Trying to release all of those muscles in the hip, really sinking down into the stretch. Inhale, head up. Walking those hands back toward your hips, sit up nice and tall. Roll the shoulders back, maybe lifting those hands off the ground, maybe reaching them all the way up. Gazing straight in front of you. Bring the arms down. Bend the back knee. See if you can bring that foot in closer to your hip. Find the stretch through your quad. And if possible, turning the sternum toward the front of the room. Deep breaths. Releasing the foot, hands to the ground, back into downward facing dog. Shake it out. Go ahead and come down to a seated position on the mat. Bring both feet together in front of you. Sit up nice and tall. Open your feet like you're reading a book. And exhale, forward fold, sternum toward the feet. Tuning into the sound of your breath. Really feeling this in the hip joints. Inhale, head up. So we're going to bend the right knee into half hero. Sit up nice and tall. We want this stretch to come from the hip. If you feel any tweak in your knee, you can either sit on a block or maybe lean back a little bit, and that should take some of the strain off. Sitting up nice and tall, we're going to go the other direction. Forward fold as much as possible. So again, if you feel any tweak in your knee, just stay in a nice upright position. Inhale, head up, and release, and we'll do the other side. So left leg into half hero. You're looking for this to come from the hip joint, not the knee. Leaning back, see if you can feel that inward rotation of the hip. We'll inhale, sit up, go the other direction. So again, sitting on a block can make a huge difference here. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sit up. We're going to try fire log now. So bring your right leg parallel to the mat, and your left leg is going to sit on top of it, and you want to try to align your ankles with your knees. Forward folding only if that feels comfortable for you. You can always stay sitting upright for this. You should feel this an external rotation of your hip. Sitting up, and we'll switch sides. So left foot on the ground this time, right foot on top, aligning ankles and knees, and forward folding if that feels comfortable. Inhale, head up, and we'll release. Go ahead and roll all the way down onto your back. And we'll lift the hips for bridge pose. Lengthening from knees to shoulders, breathing deeply into the sternum. If you want to clasp your hands behind your back and roll up on your shoulders, you can do that. Just give you a little extra height. Thinking about lifting the sternum up toward the ceiling, breathing deeply into the chest. Go ahead and lower down slowly and take a rest. We'll sit up for Purvottanasana. You can always repeat bridge if that's better for you. If you want to try Purvottanasana, you'll point those toes, lift the hips, reach the sternum up toward the ceiling, and drop the head back. Go ahead and lower down all the way to the ground and rest. So for your last back bend, you can do either bridge again, Purvottanasana again, or lifting up into your full or half wheel. Breathing deeply into your chest. If you're in full wheel, think about bringing your armpits forward over your hands. And rolling all the way down. And rocking it out. Grabbing onto the outsides of the feet, bringing the soles of the feet up toward the ceiling, and pulling those knees down, happy baby. You can continue to rock from side to side if that feels good to you, or you can try to pull those shoulders down and pull the tailbone down. Releasing the feet, we'll pull the right knee into the chest as close as you can, and then bring that knee across the body for a twist. Deep breaths into the chest. With each exhale, try to relax. Inhale to the center. We'll do the other side. Left knee comes in. Bringing that knee across your body for a twist. Both shoulders stay down on the ground. Deep breaths into your chest. Inhale to the center. One last chance to rock out any tension in the spine. We'll bring the feet together. Supta Baddha Konasana. One hand on the belly, the other hand on the heart. Turning your attention inward. Allowing the breathing to return to normal. Beginning to reflect on your practice. What did you learn today? Were there any poses that you felt like you were able to go a little deeper today than yesterday or the day before? Remembering that this is a process, and perfection is never possible. Just allowing yourself to be wherever it is that you are today and letting that be okay. Reflecting for as long as you'd like, coming into Shavasana when you're ready. Feet come to the outsides of the mat, hands palms face up by your sides. Allowing the hips to fall open. Rolling the shoulders under. Take a nice deep breath into your chest. And exhale, allowing the whole body to sink into the floor. Removing the tongue from the top of the mouth. Eyes sink into their sockets. Relaxing your forehead and the crown of your head and the place behind your ears. Turning your attention to your breathing in and out through the nose, and just allowing the mind to be still just for a few moments. When you're ready, wiggling fingers and toes, reaching arms up above your head, point your toes, turning over onto your right side and coming up to a seated position. Sit up nice and tall, roll the shoulders down the back, and bring those hands into prayer position, taking a moment to remember all of the things that you're grateful for today, and knowing that all good things are coming with time. Namaste.